Second. There we go. Okay, guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jennifer Blackert.
And I'm Leonka Reyna.
And this is the How to Hustle Morning Show. Today, we're joined with Karin Tobiason, and we are going to talk about really stepping out of this 3D reality and really playing more as our 5D self today. And we're going to just jump right in.
Yeah. For those who are joining us new to the line, Karin, of course, we have a really great following that has been with us, but there are some that may not be familiar with you. Can you just give us a little bit about your background and how you fell into this beautiful work?
Okay, I'll try to keep it short.
Yes, so we can get into some juicy.
Yes, no, my guides
sometimes
are
the story is juicy.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, my guides are so excited about this
I am too.
incredible information to come out. When I was in my late 20s, early 30s, I refer to it as a near-death experience, but it really wasn't a near death. I didn't nearly die. I just got plucked up and was given quite a few tours of heaven, and where I didn't know what they were doing. I didn't know what I was looking at the time, because this was not on my path at all. And but looking back at it now, they just taught me spiritual law. And they taught me what I would need to know to teach people how to effortlessly just really walk into this beautiful 5D ascension energy and what that means. So I've had many, many tours of heaven. I've had tons of psychic experiences, as we all have. And then they told me that this is the work I was supposed to do. And I said, no, thank you, not interested. I pursued a corporate career. I've built a couple of different companies. And they kept most of them got really big and then got taken away, really big, taken away. And so on the very last iteration of the last business that I was creating, it was all based on being able to move around. And when quarantine came, they said, okay, quit picking through the rubble. We want you on path now. So here I am on path. So.
Well, we're grateful that you are.
You.
Because we get to spend time with you today and then work with your guides and hear all about the juicy things that they want to share with us today. So why don't you kind of dive right into what you do feel called to kind of express with us on the line?
You broke out there. What was that last?
I said, why don't we just jump right in and you can share with us a little bit about what you feel called to express with us on the line.
Oh, okay, thank you. I'm sorry about that. It's one of those days. So what my guides really want to talk about, they want to talk about this, this wonderful ascension, this wonderful 5D energy, and they want to talk about why it is so hard for those of us that have a blueprint as that of a healer. We have been on this healing journey for many, many years. We have been studying, we've been doing everything that we were supposed to do. And this seems to be so much tougher for those of us who are healers. And so what my guides want to do is break that down. They want to tell you why, and we're going to fix it. So
okay. I'm liking this.
Let's go.
Let's do this.
Yeah, let's go. So I'm going to talk about the healer / empath. You all came forward. You have an imprint as that of being a healer, everybody on here. And what that means is that you have a deep, deep commitment to leave everybody in a better place than you found them. And most of you have just reached out. You've been healing people. You've been taking on all of this stuff, and you're tired and you kind of feel like you're getting left behind. You feel like, why? I should be on top of my game. I've been doing this for 100 years, and why not? So the reason why not is when you came forward as an empath, as a clairsentient. So what that means is all you have to do is think about something or think about someone, and you know how they're doing mentally, you know how they're doing emotionally, you know how they're even doing physically. Many of you pick it up in your own bodies. You know how they're doing spiritually. And you are literally a walking beacon for anybody having a bad day to just vomit that energy right into your system. How many people here relate to that?
Sounds about right.
And just the thought about going out into public, just the thought about going out into going to the store, it's like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. So the reason that you just can't do it is you were not born, you did not come forth in this life at this time with a fairy godmother that taught you spiritual law as a very young child. Okay. So I'm going to be your fairy godmother. I'm going to teach you the spiritual law you need to do to
She
handle
kind
all
of looks like a fairy godmother, doesn't she?
Yes, you definitely embody the love of the fairy godmother, but the very cute one. I love it. I love it.
Next time I'll wear the gown.
Nice.
And we'll be for it.
Talk about magic.
That's right, with the crown and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
All
yes.
all
Yes.
out.
Yes.
You know,
Let's
start
do
out.
I know, we
Love it.
digress. We have fun here. We do.
I know it. I refer to you two as the cool girls.
Oh.
And I don't feel cool, but that's okay.
No,
Totally cool.
We like you.
Yeah.
We think you're a part of us.
Yes, totally.
Oh, good. Oh, how fun.
And so she said, bring out her wand for sure.
Okay, fairy godmother vibes. Let's talk.
For sure. That's too cute.
Okay.
Okay, we are going to definitely talk about that. Tink.
Mm-hmm.
Tinkerbell.
So yes, so you came forth as an empath. You came forth as a clairsentient, and so you take in all the energy. You just take in the energy. You feel everything, and you know that you have the ability to heal people. You are the one that everybody calls and says, I always feel better when I just spend a little bit of time with you, and I'm really in some deep weeds right now. So can I just kind of come over? I got this problem. And you usually go, oh God. And so, of course. And they come over, and really all you do, they talk, you witness, you observe, and you watch them heal immediately. And that's kind of just what you do. So I'm going to go back to being born here without having a fairy godmother. And so what happened is you chose your family, you came down, you knew you were you knew you were powerful, you knew you were here to bring peace on earth, you knew, you just knew what your magic was, even though you landed in a little body that felt like a bread loaf with a central nervous system. You didn't care. You knew you were powerful. And you knew every time that your parents looked over the little bassinet, or they looked over in the crib at you and you beamed up at them, you knew without a doubt that they had never felt that much unconditional love or peace ever. And you just see how powerful I am. So so what happens is you just kind of moved forward, and then all of you volunteered, because from the other side, when you were with your council, you could not understand, why wouldn't you just land down here, bring peace on earth, and ta-da, it's all perfect. And so what happened was you chose to come down and be traumatized. You chose to come down and find out why humans didn't do this. And by doing that, what happens is you forgot your spiritual law. I'm gonna go right into the spiritual law, and then I'm gonna talk about how it went wrong and how you can correct it. So, spiritual law number one claims everything you don't like, anything dark, anything that is uncomfortable, anything that does not feel like unconditional love, anything that does not feel like radical inner peace is someone else's energy, and everything sent back to the light must go. It's that simple. Everything. If you don't like something, just
Oh.
no me gusta, back to the light you go. Take a deep breath. If it was a big spooky wooky picture, go take a nap and reboot and just let it go on by. Spiritual law number two is everybody is responsible for healing themselves.
Yeah.
We as healers can hold the space for the healing to start. We as healers can oftentimes go in and heal, but then the other person needs to take the responsibility, make the choice to heal themselves. And so many of us think, well, I'm a healer, I'm going to heal. And then we feel inadequate when people choose not to heal themselves for whatever their path is. It's all good. It doesn't matter. And then the third spiritual law, and this one's really, really important for where we're at now in this 5D, is a thought becomes a thing, your words become a thing, and your emotions become a thing. If all of those all together blossom your heart, you've just given birth to a brand new life. On the other hand, and what a lot of us are having problems with right now, is a thought is also a thing. But if that thought creates worry, if that thought creates fear, if it creates any bit of ick, that also becomes a thing. And then that knocks up against your bigger dream.
Mhm.
So I'm going to go back to and so anytime you have a bad thought, anytime you have a worry, anytime you have anything that's kind of ick, you don't need to know anything about it. You don't need to know the story, where it came from, what's wrong with you. You don't need to know anything except, no, don't like it. Off to the light it goes, and just send it.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to talk about the empath. So you didn't have me, Tink, with you to teach you spiritual law when you were a little kid. So what you did is when people were in trauma and they kicked that energy into your system, and we all know that poof, with just like, woo, that one's going to take me out. What most of us did was like, no big deal, I'm a healer. And you churned it and you churned it and you churned it and you tried to figure out, how to fix it.
Mm.
In most cases, this was, a parent who had just gotten in a really horrible fight with their spouse. They walked in the room, they threw it into your system, and you churned it and churned it and churned it. And then all of a sudden you started thinking, well, wait a minute, I must be too flawed to heal this. What's wrong with me? A thought becomes a thing. You create a little scrim of insecurity that just kind of, laid right on your auric field.
Mm.
You also, then you're tenacious. You went after it. You kept going. You kept going. You kept going. And then you started looking for the flaws within you that needed to be healed so that you could heal that. And that just created another insecurity. I'm not good enough. Who do I think I am? Scrim over your
Mhm.
auric field. And and then the worst thing that happened for most of you is then you looked at, your mother's eyes. You looked in your mother's eyes and you mistakenly believed that how she felt about the fight she just had with your father was what she felt about you.
Mm.
And at
Mhm.
that point, she knocked you all the way back to one of your earliest lives, like as like a caveman, when you traveled around in a group of 6 to 10. And if you did not accommodate the group, if you were not liked, if you did not do everything on behalf of the group, you were not allowed in the cave at night and you'd be eaten. And so what happened is you got knocked back to that past life. You relived that you have to do everything to accommodate everybody to be loved, to belong, in order to be safe. And off went part of your soul. The shaman, the shamans talk about it's like a soul retrieval because your soul just split out. So because of that, we're going to get lighter here. We're going to go a little
No,
deeper,
this is
and then
kind of good to look at it this way.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
So what happened is we have these little holes in our auric field, and because they were created out of trauma, we create trauma. Excuse me, we don't create trauma, we attract it.
Mhm.
So everybody in trauma, everybody that needs healing, everybody that's scared, everybody that feels sick, everybody that feels like the people that you just can't, we just attract them. So here is all that we were supposed to do. And what I encourage you to start doing as of today. Everything must be everything sent to the light must go. When anybody kicks anything into your system that feels not peaceful, not loving, feels scary, feels threatening, feels anything like that, all that we are meant to do is it comes in, most of you, it comes in like a scan, like like an X-ray. And most of us kind of, try to figure out, but all you do is when that scan comes in, you don't have to see it because necessarily you'll just know it's in, you'll know what you're looking at, you'll know who's going to call next. And you just thank you for the scan. And I command the scan go back to the light to be transmuted back to love and light.
Interesting.
And that's it. So what you're doing is healing like the expert healers that you are. You're clearing the toxicity in between you. You're not taking it in your body and you getting sick and you getting lost and you hiding in your closet because you can't take any more energy. Send it out to the light, take a deep, deep breath, and it clears the toxicity between the two of you so that the other is actually able to go inside and start working on it themselves. All you were meant to do. So I know right now, I mean, I'm getting a lot of calls and I want you all to just kind of, it doesn't matter if it comes in as spooky wooky, as if it comes in as ick, or this is going to knock me off my game completely. It's all just energy. All you're doing is just moving the molecules out. That's it. Why this is so important with 5D is that when we stepped from 3D into 5D, what we did was we cut our slave shackles on having to work hard and process and do everything. And as I always say, push that rock up that hill. And all that we are being asked to do now in 5D is not identify as our body. Our bodies are nothing but the little vehicle that ushers us around this beautiful planet. But we are to identify with our light self. We are to identify with our God self. We are to identify with our energy. And so in doing that, if we have energy popping into our energy that feels bad, send it back into the light and let the other people go heal themselves. So that's all you were ever meant to do.
Mhm. Well, let's
And
talk about this for a minute. One of the things that I love to show people is when, like, think of something that maybe it's now outside of your comfort zone, but that moment when you did or chose something that was so far out of your comfort zone, and then you stepped into it and you were like, oh, and you almost felt like running backwards because it was just too far out of your realm and you weren't sure who you were going to be or what might happen to you. And I call that the new energy, right? Like it's just unfamiliar. And you almost use that same exact words, like it's just an energy no matter what. So there's people that are struggling with something in their lives almost on every single level that it's, and sometimes it's even ourselves that we're like judging ourselves. And let's talk about some of those like dynamics where we're making ourselves wrong in some choice we're making or some energy we're choosing next. What is the best way to go, okay, I need to transmute this energy so that it becomes more freeing
Fluent, yeah.
or fluid?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I love this. I couldn't have gotten a better entry point. Thank you.
yeah, good.
So I was talking a little bit earlier about being a God creator and creating this beautiful life that you get really excited about, talking about it, getting excited in your body with your emotions. If you were a puppy, your tail would wag so hard it'd knock you off your chair. And you've just given birth to this beautiful new dream. The very first thing that happens when you give birth to this dream, and this is a crazy maker for a lot of us, is we give birth to this dream and we feel like a million five.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we get this, well, who do you think you are? Why do you think you can have that? You're not ready. What's wrong with you?
I played that game way too long.
Exactly. So all that is, and I want you to look at it as all that is, these are all of the things that just need healing, just need to be sent back to the light in order to let the big dream come in. It is kind of squeezing out all of the reasons why the big dream didn't come in yesterday. Because you've been dreaming this, you've been conjuring this, you've been doing this, and then it pushes out all of the reasons. The way I love to describe this, just because it's just so, grounded, is it's like buying a brand new car and you're so excited about it, and you drive up to your garage and you open up the garage door, and somehow your whole garage is full of old dusty furniture and boxes and bugs. So all you need to do, clean out your garage and make room for the new dream. Now, here's the beautiful thing. So when you have a little thought come up, they don't want you to like, what's that all about? Let me, where am I flawed? What needs healing within me? Because you're just light. Now, there's no healing that needs to be done.
That makes sense.
And so when you are looking for the flaw within yourself in order to heal it, you literally rewound yourself.
I knew it.
Well, let's say that. Can you say that a little bit different? Because I feel like it took me a second for it to land. And sometimes if it takes a second to land, then nobody heard it in the first place. Yeah. So you're saying by digging it up and looking at it, you're actually re-traumatized. Okay, I get it.
Yes.
So by digging this up again and say, yeah, I'm clearing this or whatever you're saying about it, you're technically re-traumatizing yourself with it.
But you're even doing, because you're a healer, you're doing something even more prodigious. You're rewounding yourself. You're healing it
Oh,
And
interesting.
but you don't actually heal it because the thought keeps coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
you go, oh, I thought I healed this.
Uh-huh.
And it keeps coming up. It's like, well, maybe I'm not all that powerful then. All
And I
of the
suck and I make myself wrong and I'm
right.
not good
What's
enough. And
wrong with me? And yeah, I'm not lucky. I don't, whatever that is. So what they want when those things come up, and I'm going to use stupid language because my guides love it just because it takes
Hey,
seriousness out of
uh-huh.
it.
Yeah.
What they want you to do is when you've got that feeling like, who do you think you are? You're not good enough. Whatever it is, we all know what ours is I
Uh-huh.
want you to go, oh, yippee, something to heal. Send it
Okay.
back to
Okay.
the light. No story needed. You don't need to know who, when, where, what, how, why me. You don't need to know
Uh-huh.
anything about it. And
Love
the
it.
reason, yeah, that I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying that is you don't know that that's not your neighbor's thought. You don't know that that's not ancestral healing you're doing. You don't know where it came from. You are just light and you're just passing it through and healing it. That's all you were ever meant to do.
Wow.
So
Well, the
every
controller
time they
in
come up,
me
yeah,
doesn't
right.
so like this. So
And
you're saying if I judge myself on an action that I took yesterday and I keep thinking about it, thinking about it, thinking about really all I need to do is say, this is a lie anyway, send it back to the light.
Light.
yeah, yeah,
It's really that simple.
or even at a deeper level is there any room in my future for me to feel this inadequate?
Ooh.
Yeah, to continue making myself wrong and in
Right.
doubt. No,
Yeah,
done with
and
that.
just send it back to the light.
Mhm.
Because it could
And
be someone else's. Like
it
or
could
the
be,
And it
neighbors.
probably is because you were born this perfect little thing that all you needed to be was that perfect little thing and in love.
exactly. And you've got these two or three little, concave indents that you attract that.
Hmm.
Because you're a healer, so you attract it. It's not necessarily yours. If it is yours and you send it back to the light, you will literally glow up with
Hmm.
healing.
Hmm. That's the new trend word on TikTok. Glow
Go
up.
up. I
Oh,
Uh-huh.
know.
really?
Yeah.
It is. See, you
Oh
are
my,
the cool girl.
I
It
don't
literally
even.
has its own hashtag and a trending title. Glow
Oh
up.
my gosh.
It's too
I,
cute.
yeah.
I think it's so fun when I play in frequencies. It changes who I am and I feel more capable of doing this work as well. Like literally meditating, being in a lower brainwave frequency or listening to music that takes me down to a lower brainwave frequency. What will you share a little bit of how it it is for you to be in playing as a 5D frequency, um, and and what happens when things get sticky, even when you are playing in your 5D frequency? Does that make sense? You're looking at me like maybe it doesn't.
Yeah, I know that makes sense. So, it feels like hard work being 5D all the time. But the reason is that we are retraining our bodies to just, the reason it's so important to just back to the light is that there will be a day that you will wake up, that you will have trained your system to do that correctly. And so what's happening is when we're in 5D, we just have all this energy hitting us nonstop. I mean, it's big. It's big, weird
Mm-hmm.
stuff. and comes from 1,000 different directions. If we were able to just kind of record all of the kind of messages, the negative messages that come in, for most of us, I mean, going to feel like I just give up. I mean, are you kidding me? But it's just moving it out, moving it out. And every time each one of us moves one out, just moves out a spooky wookie, moves out anything we don't like, any little ick, even if it's just hooked on to the outside of our auric field, we heal ourselves and we heal all one another as well. That's when they talk about we've come here to bring peace on earth. That is what they're talking about. We're just starting with ourselves.
Yeah. Well, I feel that I have been in some way doing, making that change by the energy, space, and consciousness questioning, right? We have this question that we use. It's what energy, space, and consciousness can me and my body be to blah, 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 whatever it might be. To be free of this could be one of it. And it seems that I'll ask that question and then it does go back to frequency. And I think I've been kind of doing it in a different way than from how you do it, right? And I mean, I have lightened up in the last 12 years.
I would even venture to say that, are you saying, Karin, that we may not even need to go into the question of unearthing what any of it is? And we just basically utilize the tool of sending it back to the light and letting it pass through.
Yeah, it literally is like,
let it go through. But I know we've got many little analyticals here that they really like understanding. And your system is perfect. You're absolutely brilliant. And what I say to all of the analyticals is go ahead and just send it back to the light and then ask for proof of the benefit of having done so.
I like that part.
Yeah, well, and a choice creates, right? So when you're truly making a choice, you are overriding like those synapses in your brain. Because you're like, no, this is not true, and I'm done with it. And I think when we acknowledge ourselves in that way, a frequency does move through us, and that does go back to the light. I think sometimes those thoughts just are so deep in our brain or subconscious, like way back here, that we can't even like catch them. And instead we just feel bored or miserable or sad or, a little depressed or something because we're like, I don't even know what I need to send back to the light because it's like this conglomerate of a gazillion little thoughts,
little things
of misery about yourself, right?
Yeah, but when you are feeling discomfort in your body, it just means you've quit breathing.
Uh-huh. We both breathe.
Let me take a breath. It's that reactive, freeze, fight, what's it, whatever. But whenever you're feeling a little uncomfortable, just take a very, very deep breath. That's how you bring your God self back into your little vehicle. Your little vehicle just needs needs a driver, maybe needs a little gas. I don't know. Maybe needs a plug-in. But whenever you're feeling like that, it's just a reminder that you're not breathing. And I also want to say that however we're all so unique and we're all just so perfect. We are all stepping forward based on our own destiny.
Yes.
And so we're doing everything right. And if you're not sending it to the light, but you've got another process, my guides like to make it really simple, really like almost like somebody the other day said, you kind of talk like a children's book. Like, wow, that's cool. A nice thing to hear, but they want it really simple, and however you're translating it is absolutely perfect. I'm just giving it to you in the simplest terms.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, so you find your own way to make that you know,
But the energy of it
yeah,
is the
Yeah.
simplicity of it.
yeah,
The simplicity is important because this is not, it feels like such hard work.
Yeah.
And it's just not. It's just consistent until you're done.
you're
And
you're
if it,
free.
yeah,
Yeah.
and if it gets too tough, I always tell, just go take a nap. Grab
Hmm.
a graham cracker,
I love
and a
graham
milk
I do
crackers.
box,
too.
I don't know, and take a nap and just
Interesting.
reboot. So your team can kind of come in and clear the energy out on your behalf.
Mhm.
Is that what they
Yeah.
do? Because they come in and they help us to reboot and clear that path as, you know, clear away that cobwebs and all that dirty stuff that was in that garage. Lovely.
Yes. Right now they want us doing it because they are training us that a thought is a thing.
Oh,
And so
cool.
if
I
we,
know.
That has been the
but when it gets to be too big and you go take a nap, what they're able to do is come in and kind of clear it out. You see it with children all the time. They get all cranky or they're running around. It's like, you got to go slow. I'm not tired. And you put them down. And I want to say that healers are much like cranky kids. You don't understand. I have too much stuff to do here. And it's just like, just take a nap, just 5 minutes, a nap.
Mhm.
Reboot, let them take all of the energy out so that you wake up clean, clear, ready to go again.
Yeah.
Paula says, my goodness, no wonder I'm so sleepy lately. Every time we get done with the show, I'm very hungry. And then and then I am like, I've never really been a big napper during the day. I'm like, I'm just gonna go lay in the bed right
Yep.
now. And
Well,
I've taken like a good, like even if it's for like 30 minutes, like a good deep nap. It's crazy. And I know it's
It's
because we're moving so many energies here on this show as well, right? As we were all kind of reflecting and stuff like that. So it's interesting and everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere has got this going on.
but before this show, I had an interview series, and somebody said you literally at night, if you've got something going weird in your body, you can ask for your spirit techs to just come in and heal it and just, make it as a strong ask from all of you, right? It's not like you can just go, hey, spirit techs. I mean, it can't just come from, really has to come from you as an infinite being, when you're that one space. And I thought that was really, really cool. And, I had done that for a little while and just came back up right now. I had kind of forgotten to be doing that.
Yeah, I love that
Mhm.
too.
Yeah.
Well, I love that because it's also part of the 5D training. So I
Mhm.
talk to a lot of people and they're like, God lost my file. They're not up there any longer. I'm like, praying for them and if you go up and go like, oh, what's the next, what do I have to do next? Everybody kind of steps back. Because the only difference between you and your guides and angels, the ascended masters, the gods and goddesses, all there is, the only difference between you and all of them, well, there's two differences. The very first difference is you volunteered to take a body at this time and come down, collect data on what is needed to bring peace on Earth.
She's like,
That's it.
hallelujah.
Right? Yay! And so when you go up and go, okay, here's what I want. I'm going to give you all the how to do it. I don't care how you do it. I'm just going to focus on why I want it and how I want to
Mhm.
feel when it comes in. That's my job.
Uh-huh.
And when you go in and say, okay, here's what I want. My business is not quite launched yet, so I want you guys to launch it. And here's what I want. I want you to rendezvous everybody on this planet right now who is praying for the information I have for them or praying for what I have to give. So you guys go do that. And how I want to feel humbly in service. I want to feel my strength. I want to feel my power. I want to feel all the good feels.
Sure.
So you guys make that happen. I'm going to go take a nap because that kind of made me tired. And,
But
and
truly, rest and be taken. Oh my
right.
gosh, I think that's
And
my.
that
And
is
so it
all we're
is.
supposed to do. That's all we're supposed. So thank you for bringing that up. They don't want us like, oh, please, please, please tell me the next step. They're like saying,
Uh-huh.
no, we're going to do the next step. You're not a slave any
This
longer.
is
Having
You
to carry,
surrender
amazing.
to it. You
Yep.
right?
surrender to
Yes.
it.
Yeah, yeah. It's like we're,
Wow.
so many of us
This.
were such good slaves. We worked so hard. We worked so long. We
Oh,
were
I
such
know.
a
I
lot
had
of
to put my badge
hours,
on. I had to
right?
show something for it. All this
Yeah, she
hard
had to
work.
win an award for it.
Yes, yeah. I mean, we actually, that would be hilarious, right? And handing out slave awards.
I
Um,
know.
I just,
Maybe
but
we should
I
get
did all
some
this
little
and I just,
slave buttons. So people have to wear them around on their
they're so
outfits.
heavy. But
or to just a
I think
But
reminder.
reminder to
this,
go
right?
fuck it.
I think the sleep award would be funny too. Be like, I did all this and all I did was just ask my guides and I went to sleep.
Right?
Right? Some vagina.
Well, I mean, but we're being asked to function like God. And so I haven't read the Bible, but I think it says something like, God, appeared and he created this whole universe and in 6 days, and on the seventh day he slept or napped or something. They
And he
never talk
tells us to
about
nap.
they never talk about what he did on the eighth day. And he went, oh, that creation is not quite what I want. I'm going to send that back to the light and
Oh, he's
recreate.
just dreaming us up right now.
Yeah, right.
That's all we are is a facet of it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Or
yeah,
amazingly, that is all we are as a facet.
right. Yeah, we're just
Yeah.
all this
Well,
wonderful light.
Yes.
let's talk about that. What is our purpose here, right? If we're really just to evolve and to go to the light, right? Like, what is our purpose here with consciousness?
We're I'm going to say the only other difference between all the masters and archangels and us is we have our own unique brilliance that we are here to weave with everybody else's in order to bring peace on earth. So when people ask me, well, how do I know what my life purpose is? I always say there's three things you should look at. The very first thing you should look at is, what do you love? What do you love? When you were a little child, what did you spend all your time doing? What did you love to do?
Sing.
Not to be mistaken, not to be mistaken with, oh, well, I'm really good at this. And so and I'm saying this is because I was very good at my job. I was like world class at my job.
Mhm.
And I believed that I loved it because I was good, but I loved being good and seen and
Uh-huh.
adored. Okay.
Yes,
You
That was
it's
the
wanted the
a,
difference.
acknowledgement. It
yes.
wasn't really about, yeah,
It wasn't about doing the work.
the
The work was
work.
horrible.
Yeah, no, I was like that in corporate.
Me too.
I
Right?
loved it because I had this corner office with this team and everything. And I just really liked all the attention, but hated every ounce of it. And I
Right?
knew it wasn't like my path. I was just there to make money and be acknowledged.
Well, yeah, you're more
Recognized.
advanced than me. I thought that was me, but it's not. So really look at what you love to do. And the reason that I brought that example up is the second thing to always look at is, what are you just really good at? What are you just naturally good at? Things that people kind of come in and go, oh my God, you've never done this before. You've never
Mhm.
like done a presentation on that. You look like a pro. But go back and look at all of the things that you're really, really good at doing. And then the third clue to what your life purpose is what are you most afraid of?
Mhm.
And
Wow.
when you're able to remove the fears of what you're most afraid of and kind of, bring all three arrows right into the bullseye, then it's just a matter of, how big do you want to take it, or how, no judgment. If you've come forward and you want to be, that you're here to be the very best mother who has ever lived on planet Earth, that you can have one kid and you can do that, and you can be the very best mother possibly. You
Mhm.
could run an orphanage, or you could be Mother Teresa and take care of all the children. So it doesn't matter what the scope is, it matters what the purpose is.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I think Katie just won the entire summit for the best comment ever. Did you guys see it? It says, "Isn't the Bible just a book about the galactic beings who created our planet?"
Yes.
But then to continue the conversation, I mean, the question that you asked, what are you the most afraid of? Like, I'm kind of curious, when you asked that question, did everyone like light up and know what theirs was? Or do you guys kind of got to go,
Being
I
judged.
really got to, really,
Mm-hmm.
really got to look at it. So yours would be being judged.
Or at least it was.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was afraid of, like doing something wrong or not being studious,
Well,
but
that's
really
what
came
should be a
down
big
to
one.
what other people thought,
Huh?
or like the judgment of something, of me, really.
Uh-huh.
And I don't feel that way anymore because I'm doing, I jumped all in.
I would
And
say
yeah, and healed those pictures. Yeah. But it's like, and it's so interesting, is because whatever you're most afraid of, that's how you identify your karma and what you came to clear.
Mm-hmm.
So many, many people are afraid to be seen. They're afraid to be heard because they've been persecuted. And we are all healers here, whether or not we're going to be a physician, whether or not we're going to be an herbalist, or whatever we are doing, it doesn't matter. But we have all been persecuted in past lives
Yes.
for speaking
My
our truth, for
And
being a healer.
yes.
I mean, almost everybody here,
Yeah.
we've all burned as a witch. Yay!
Yeah.
Mhm.
I actually was, confined. So I'm super claustrophobic, or I was super claustrophobic.
Right? Yeah,
I
we
was
all kind of
laughing.
know what we're here to
Yeah.
clear. It's just like,
Yeah.
let's just yippee, send it to the light. Why are we like,
Mhm.
what's flawed in me and what do I need to fix again? And we're back on that circle.
Well, and technically we need to. So if we have this like strong fear, then we may attract that strong fear because it is that resonant frequency. So, like, how fast can we send it to the light now?
So a lot of people are saying fear of being seen is a biggie for me.
Mm.
Kat said, let's see, she said something earlier, and it kind of felt the same that I started to have too, but ultimately I was afraid of being judged after being seen. So you could see me, but I was afraid what people would see me as. Let me see what this one says.
I think I'm afraid of being alone, you know. And I know that with guides and even
That you're
beings
never,
that I'll never be alone, but at the same time, I don't want to be alone, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
Kat said being seen, rejected for who I authentically am, and that kind of felt the same way. But ultimately, it was like, who was projecting that on me? And so
Yeah.
when I realized my value came from me, like, and it took a lot of work to at that time to kind of excavate that and then hold that value. I don't Now I can come to the show and talk about what I want to talk about freely,
But
but before,
total, like we don't have any privacy anymore.
no.
Like, I mean, gosh, we've
Both-
gone
yeah,
everywhere to
yeah.
like the word on my ass. I mean,
Yeah,
you guys missed that show. Don't worry about it.
literally. I love it
But
so much.
yeah, but we did a program back in 2012 or something called Being Seen, which means that must have been going through something like that, afraid of being seen. But that's also kind of tangled in being judged, right?
Yeah,
it's like you don't want to
exactly.
be seen because then people are going to judge you
Yeah.
as something that's not good enough.
Yeah,
And then it all goes back to that. Wow.
yeah,
And
I always
Same.
just say that I'm afraid to be, seen or heard, because then I'm going to be judged and then I am going to be persecuted. I
Mhm.
call them the dark
Wow.
ages on purpose.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
And I also I also want to talk about the fear of being alone,
Mhm.
because it's a really interesting path. It's all just about learning. You're getting like 5 PhDs in relationships, relationship with self, relationship with others, relationship with people that are tough to love, relationship with people who are just beautiful, relationship with spirits at all. But it's all just getting that huge 360 view lesson about relationship and
Wow.
love.
Gosh, we
Yeah,
had
they
that
just hit the
earlier.
codes.
Addison talked about how everything is how we are in
Relation.
relationship in relation to everything, right? To matter, to everything in existence. And how we literally bounce off of all of those things and create another frequency, another energy about it as well.
It's so wild that we started with Addison and him channeling
Oh, wow.
Metron, and he's like, thing to thing, thing to thing.
Mhm.
And then we end up the conversation with this,
Right.
that it is all relations in this 3D world.
Well, that's because this whole summit has been divinely guided, right?
Right? But it's even bigger than that.
Yeah,
It's because it's thing to thing. If what you are seeing with what you're attracting, yippee, something to heal. I don't like that. And so it's very easy. And so all that we're to do, if we know we have to go walk into an experience and we don't want to do it, we are like not looking forward to it. We are shaking guts in hand. All we need to do is, okay, team, here's what I want, because I am a God creator. I am going to create this next moment for myself.
Wow.
I'm going to get my car. I'm going to drive over there. Miraculously, I'm going to have green lights all the way. Seas are going to part. My favorite song on the radio is going to be on. And then I'm going to walk in, and what I'm going to find and what I'm going to see is exactly the energy that I'm going to come in and heal. So what I want to do before I even get in there, I want you guys to go in there. I want you to sweep the place, sweep it out. I want everybody to be in their heart. I want everybody to really be in their beautiful God self. And when I walk in, I want to be able to light that up in everybody. I want it to be a win-win. I want everybody to get what they want as far as it's in integrity, or understand why not. I want this to be like, I want this to feel like the biggest miracle in the whole world, because you guys don't even know what you're going in at. This is a crime scene. You go, you clear it out.
Crime scene. Well, and lies are crimes.
Right?
That's one of the 10 commandments, man. Sorry.
Karin, do
I
you
love
do
it.
that?
I
Do you
love
do that? With that much intensity? Do you utilize the practice in that way?
all the time.
I knew it. Okay, I'm in. I'll do it.
Yep.
To get a little bit, personal, I mean, I come from a very mentally ill family. Very mentally ill. I came by my empathing like really, I honestly, it has,
I love
She's
that.
coming in hot, y'all.
I did not leave one rock uncovered. And I mean, really mentally ill. My mother and aunt, thankfully we're done. I mean, my sister and I, we have one little niece and we're done. That's it. They're, this pool is being drained. Um, but my mother and aunt, first time in many, many decades that they are the first two women that did not commit suicide. And what's
Wow.
happening in my lineage is now the men are committing suicide. It was the women before. I'm very mentally ill. So I have a couple of PhDs in that.
Wow. Just a couple, not
Yeah,
like
no,
18
it's
billion.
And that tells you something, everyone on this line or listening on the podcast. She has PhDs in the mental health space, and because probably you wanted to heal your family and understand what was going on with you. And then today you're doing this work. So obviously there is something so grand about how your guides share, and thank you to your guides for sharing with us, giving us the fast version, that it is so uniquely profound that this is how it is, right? Like this is what's really gonna get us there, minus, all the noise that we've been doing,
Mhm.
all the
well,
past,
yeah. If you're just like, why do I have to heal all this stuff? Why am I in this thing? It's to, be able to pull the jewels out and in order to share with the world to bring peace on earth.
Mhm. Wow.
And yeah, it makes it very humbling, when you're in the process and lashing out and going, why me? Why me?
Mhm.
And it's like,
Mhm.
nope, just clear it, just clear it. And right now I'm working with ancestral stuff and whoa, it's really dark back there. It's really fascinating.
Well, as you've had these tours of heaven, uh, I know that you've been shown so many things. Do you still like take these tours, or do you have choice to go up there, or now it's just all working through your guides?
It's a great
Most
question.
Mm.
of it is working through my guides. When I hit, I know how to get there. So
Mhm.
if I need to go there, I'll go there. I can also take other people there.
Mm.
So I'm able to do that. Um, but yeah, and what it kind of looks like to me is when I have a gigantic upgrade, or when I'm doing readings for people and I see this huge, huge upgrade that they're going through, I literally see this large, tall, golden door
Mm.
in the heavenly realms. And and when I look at heaven, I perceive it as many, many layers, different colors, frequencies, tones, I just tons. Farther up you go, the higher the frequency. But I watch these doors swing open. And it just means that the soul who is in front of it, whether or not it's just doing a drop by, or whether or not they've stepped over, but I see them going into this, a higher part of heaven because of a life well lived.
Mhm. Neat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if that did that answer the
No,
question.
that's it. That was cool. It's actually my father was in the ministry, and he does describe heaven like that. From as as far as that's actually almost read through the Bible somewhere on how the levels of heaven. It's kind of interesting that you just described it that way too, from actual experience. So I just really, really cool. One of the things that I got from my father being one of my guides is it seemed like, I'm going to say it seemed like, but I'm pretty sure I know that this is the case. But when he did take his pass across the Rainbow Bridge, it has seemed as if he's come down as one of my guides, and he has like a collective council that actually is working with, like, he's a part of this little council and they're helping me in some way. If I tell you that, do your guides or your awareness uh, pop with that so I can have more information on that, or how to work with them better, or anything like that? I'm just mostly
Um,
curious now.
yeah, so
Never
what I'm
really
what
asked
I'm
you that
looking at
question.
is you're absolutely correct.
Okay.
So your father, your father's always been connected and always been working with his council.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And he is down here guiding you. He loves what you're doing. He
I said
loves
that.
what you're doing.
Yeah.
You also are working with your council. So
Mhm.
his council, your council are counseling. Your council is with you. His is with him. And yeah, and he stands right behind you with access to his.
Uh-huh.
You have
That's
access to yours as well.
okay. That's exactly how I perceive it too. So
Beautiful.
thank you for saying it in real words. I appreciate that.
How exciting.
That's cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that is kind of how it works with almost all the beings too. Like her father and mother, they've got their counsel, and even if they're human on this planet, they're now, I guess as a 3D being, we also kind of have capacity to shut down so we don't receive too much of their messages and their guidance because that would be too cool for us, right? I mean, that's like we're kind of taught that, I feel now.
We're
What
we're
are your
kind of
thoughts?
taught that, but what the distinguishing piece that my guides talk about is we are no longer 3D. Our body is. And that is our
Got
cars. Our
Yes.
cars are 3D. And that's why our bodies are feeling so much exhaustion. And they're having to work at a much higher level. And that's
uh-huh.
why you need to nap a lot more. Okay.
Okay,
We
cool.
literally we are light. When I look at
Yes.
everybody here, all I
Yeah.
see is a beautiful column of light.
Cool.
You're just light and there's no flaws. It's
Yeah.
perfect light.
Uh-huh.
And we're getting
Absolutely.
flooded with more light here on Earth.
Right?
Whew.
Yeah.
Well, I had heard on a recent Gaia interview that this is wild, but they were saying at the ascension point, I think it was like December 12th of 2012, that was the date where the gate opened from, time being an actual construct to time being an application. And I thought, yeah, I thought that, yeah, that feels really light. But then at the same time, I had to kind of walk myself back and say, well, why did it take so long? Right? I mean, this planet Earth has been around a long, long time. But then that was about the time the Mayan calendar ended, right?
That is exactly what it is. Yeah.
So they
Yep.
couldn't. Oh, isn't that
That is
cool?
exactly that. Yes. Yeah.
I think
That's
it's
it.
so
Yeah.
it's so cool.
Yeah. And our ancestors knew about it, right?
Yeah, by looking at the stars.
Which we already
I
talked about.
I
know.
know.
Well,
Wow.
it's also
Cool.
everything is perfect and
Yeah, it is.
they're confirming that that's absolutely correct. A lot of this stuff came in a lot earlier than when we were
Yes.
literally woke up and like, oh my God, I'm just energy now and I need to function like energy. What does energy do? And what am I supposed to do with this?
Sure.
And it's all been everything has happened to actually help us grow our soul. What I've been told really
Mhm.
clearly was the reason that so many of us are here, the reason why so many of us are here and brought so much karma and brought so much crap is because we knew that it would take about 100 other lives to come down and get the growth that we are getting at this point. And, a very beautiful thing to look at today that's happening. We have so much darkness in this world. We have so much fear. And we are moving it out. We're moving it
Yeah.
out. And it doesn't mean that it doesn't knock us to our knees. It doesn't mean that we have our shaking guts in our hand and we give up on days. But and all you have to do is remember that if somebody comes up and they're so, families, mothers, got tons of them calling and just like, are my kids okay? Can I send them to school?
Yeah,
They've
I
got
know.
students, they've got all this, and it's like just like that somebody else's thought. Yeah, that is fear. Go ahead and heal it. Go take a nap, and just ask your team for you to know when to keep the kids at home.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank
Uh-huh.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And if you're one of those people, I also have people calling and saying, "Oh my God, I am so cursed. I'm seeing these explosions and these crises before they happen." And if you're one of those people, the reason that you're seeing them is because you have the power to go in and change the
You're
result.
dissipating it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that.
We had
Oh,
another question.
okay, yeah, where
Not the
you
bomb,
literally,
not the bombs. I have the natural disasters. So
yeah.
earthquakes, yeah.
Yeah.
Tornadoes, that type
Oh,
of
yeah.
So
thing.
you
Yeah.
just go in and just like, okay, this is gonna, this is gonna happen. I want everybody, to be free of it. No human casualties unless it's
Yes.
on their line,
Yes.
and I want this to just be a beautiful expression of nature.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Paula asked, what if you don't sense that any of your family, like that here on planet Earth, is a part of your spirit or guided team? Is that doesn't happen very often though, does it?
No, we all come forth with our soul family.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so many of us think, well, my
Is
mom
there?
can't be part of my soul family. That's nothing. And yet everybody's a part of either coming in and helping to make your path easier or forcing you to grow.
Mm-hmm.
The souls that came down with that challenge you to the nth degree are the ones that love you so much. They are so committed that you grow your soul, that you step into your power, that you see your power, you see your light, you feel your light and power. And I'm going to promise you that when both of you are stepped over and you see each other for the very first time, it literally is a celebration. It was like, you were so horrible.
Yeah.
And your
You're
person would go,
right.
I
I've
know
heard
it.
that.
Wasn't I just the worst? And it's like, nobody could have done that for me. You just like
Yeah.
high five. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
know
Sort
I've
of
heard
like
it's just like that. Yes. Yeah. I have to remember that sometimes. I don't have too much strife with anybody like that. Maybe because I've really taken that into my soul, but there are teachers that I have had, and I have to remember that that is exactly their role, and I chose it and they chose it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Well, I know
Right.
we've kind of just talked along here, but Karen did put together a special offer for us. So let's go ahead and talk about that, and then we'll talk a little bit longer if you guys want.
Thank you. I was just like,
Yeah.
what did I do?
Is this the right one?
Let's see.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes. So I put together a 3-module just course that I really unpack everything you need to know as your fairy godmother, as an empath, and how to course correct how you flow your energy and put all that out. So it is it's a beautiful package. You really just need to get in here and just start, course correcting the way that you handle this energy coming in. This is the place to go for this.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so it has the various different modules if you want to scroll down a little bit. And yeah, so then you have various different modules for this, for working with this, right? If you're transmuting the energy, really, but.
Okay. Oh, thank you. So I didn't have time to pull this up before.
It's okay.
So yeah,
That's when we
module
got your back.
1 is just empathing 101. So
Mhm.
I talk about how it works, and I touched on it a little bit here, and how to correct it to just feel more empowered every day, and brilliant, and less tired and exhausted and less angry at like you again. It's I know I'm supposed to be a healer, but really you again. The second module is really about heal yourself first. And when you are completely healed, it just doesn't land. It doesn't land, it doesn't trigger, it just kind of flows through really, really beautiful. And when you do that, you're able to also clear all of your karmic agreements, all of, your karmic agreements, your ancestral agreements. Most of you here have also brought in universal agreements. You brought in a lot. You brought in a lot, and I don't need to tell you that. But when you go on to this practice, it just clears it. It just clears it.
Mhm.
And the third module is just advanced healing for you, for others, and just the planet at large. And while I was writing it, the song it kept coming in my head. I can't sing, but hello, darkness, my old friend.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
that's really beautiful. I gotcha.
And really how to just work with it as the incredible
Mhm.
master you are.
That's
So
cool.
that is the 3 package course. And I also have a bonus meditation. And I think, okay, I was like, which one did I do? And this is a bonus meditation that is perfect for the empath in order to pull all of the energy that
It's
they have put
really
out,
cool.
everything that has gone out, all the money you've spent, all the energy you've spent, all the love you've put out, and just call it all in and to have it come back and just fulfill you again. It's a beautiful, beautiful meditation, and quite short. So it's not like,
It
oh, I
was
don't have an hour. So
it was super empowering. As I was working through putting your stuff together, I let that one play and I thought, wow, this is really juicy. It really, really calls it back in. I mean, I didn't realize how unwhole I was, how scattered I was until we were calling that in. And I just had it on passively, really. Had I been able to be with it, I'm sure it would have been much more profound as well. But like I said, I was having it run while I was putting this together for you. And then the second, so that's package A. They get a
that's
choice. So it's package A, that's for $97. And then package B is just a little bit of an upgrade.
So yeah, this is the
It's the same whole
the
package.
price here is incorrect on the first
Oh,
one here.
It's supposed
But
to be
we'll correct
$97.
that.
Oh,
That
yeah,
should
it's supposed
just
to be
be 97. It
$97.
might
There you go.
actually go. I
To
don't
the right place. But
I don't
anyway,
know. We'll figure it out for you guys. So that one's supposed to be 97. Here we go. And that is 97.
yes.
Okay, great. So that's
Leonka just can't type.
so yeah, it just missed
so
that.
it's a deal just for you, just today.
And then
And
the
then this is
second
technically package
yes,
B, and it includes the same thing from A,
Right.
and then but it also includes
A one-on-one Akashic Records
right
reading.
here.
Is that correct? Yeah.
Yes.
And I'll get those updated.
Oh, neat. What a pretty picture.
Yeah, many times the Akashic records are going to come up. It's just a one-on-one. What happens in my readings is I just ask your team what they want you to know. So and I'm usually able to confirm stuff you're hoping for, or letting you know where you're at in the process of getting there. I oftentimes go into Akashic Records. Oftentimes your team just needs you to know another little piece of spiritual law in order for you to just that huge breakthrough. And so many of you just need to be told it's okay to take a nap. Everything's going to be okay. You've already created a beautiful life and it's coming in already.
How did you know I needed to hear that? Because sometimes I feel guilty.
Like you feel guilty for napping.
Yes. Oh,
Oh, no.
Everybody does. I was a really good slave. I mean, I was such a
Yeah.
good slave, and I got so many attaboys. And if something needs to be done, it's like, I got it. I know how to do it. And so, I mean, I understand that. It's like, what do you mean I have to take a nap? What do you mean I have to just sit here and hum? And literally, you just have to sit here and hum, and your world's going to open up beautifully.
Well, when you're called to do that, that's usually some frequency that's just moving through you.
Uh-huh.
I have that
Yes.
occasionally too, where I just need to make a noises mostly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
cool. That's
you
good to
two
know.
have so much energy coming at you daily. You two have a lot coming. And you transmute a lot. You move it out and you heal it and you soften it. You're very, very effective empaths. When you're
Yeah.
doing
Thank
the
you.
harder, when you're doing the harder work, the
Mhm.
personal work, it's going to be even easier. Don't even worry about it. Just
Nice. I'm here for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to thank the teachers in front of you, or
oh,
Mhm.
all the
and right
great.
now, especially
Yeah.
in front of you.
Yeah, I
Bow
mean, we're
bow.
all just standing on the
Namaste.
shoulders of the greats that came before us that
Mhm.
helped build everything up and helped offer us up one more step up the ladder. I mean, I'm so grateful to everybody who's come before and humbled
Mhm.
to even have like my big toe on their shoulder.
Mhm. Wow. It's really just fun being in your presence, Karen. I mean, it's sort
Aw.
of like you get us, right? Because you've been there in the trauma and the misery, and you were kind of, taken into the mystic by surprise. Uh, yeah, and she shared most of that in the first conversation.
Mhm.
And then, and then you kept, entering the mystic. You became willing and the allowance to play in this field. So I thank you for bringing these learnings and lessons
Yes.
to us. And I, really, really feels like everything that comes out of your mouth is just, yep, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah. It reads.
Instead of it reads, instead of
Mhm.
it being just all, hairy fairy and stuff. So it's really a joy being in your presence. Thank you.
And likewise, I get to be with the cool girls.
Which all of us on the line are cool. If you're here, you're cool.
I know.
Yes, anyone who's here is cool.
That's right.
Anybody else have any questions before you wrap? Thank you, Anne. Yeah, everyone's kind of no real questions. So thank you guys.
Yes, lots of cute comments. Thank you. Lots of comments for Karen.
Yeah.
Aw, I
Well,
feel so loved.
that was a really good, way that you unleashed this upon us, just
Mhm.
showing us this simplicity and this way to change and not having to go and do the hard work. And I just am really grateful for the way that you've expressed it.
Well, you and your guides, right?
Yeah,
It's so
and
timely.
thank you. And I know, and I felt the same. I mean, I feel the same. What my guides know is if it's not easy, I'm not interested. Is
Mhm.
because I remember kind of coming up, and we all have these memories. We all know this happened. We're like on this path. We're on this spiritual path,
Yeah.
and you had somebody, ding with the bell, and it's like, okay, enter the kingdom of, and it's like, where is it, and how do I do it? Just
Mhm.
ding, just do it, and just like I'm bored. I'm bored. Give me a nail file. I don't know what I'm doing here. And so I love that my guides make it really, really simple. And one of the very first messages that came in that I love that I'm going to share, and everybody who knows me has probably heard me say this, but they said your life is kind of like, do you remember those Etch-a-Sketch things we used to play with?
Oh, yes. I
And we
loved
would,
those in the 80s.
yes, we all did because it started teaching us how to create. So we would draw a picture, we would love the picture, we would keep it up there. And then one day we would go on and go, I don't like this picture any longer. And what did we do? We
Shake it
shook
all
the
up.
sand and recreated. And that
Mm,
is all we're doing. If we don't like what we've created, send it to the light and recreate it. Just shake that etch a sketch, get that and draw it out
mhm,
again.
mhm.
So, which it doesn't get easier than that description.
No, no, that's so
And it
beautiful.
works. I mean, and it really, really works. I'm at a really, beautiful place in my life that I get a lot of feedback. And the success that people are having in their dreams that might seem absolutely impossible, but they are doing them. And when I just like, how fast did you do that? And they'll just say, I had a reading with you 6 months ago. I did the work every day. I had nothing to lose. I did the work every day. And I literally went from, I was renting this place I didn't like. It was awful. I wanted I wanted to buy a huge home, which seemingly felt impossible. I wanted all this land. I wanted to do an animal sanctuary. It's all I've ever wanted. And she
Mhm,
said, I found my home. I found the land. And
mhm.
it's like, how would you do? And she
Wow.
said, I just put my head down, trusted, and did this work every day.
Yeah.
And so I'm really at a beautiful place where I hear miracles constantly,
Mhm.
constantly on, on just how powerful. And I actually recognize one name here who pulled the biggest miracle out in about 3 days. And she's listening in right now. She did one of the biggest miracles ever.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
when
Uh,
you get to
who-
work this fast, when you find tools that work this quickly, that can be what it's supposed to be.
Well,
Yeah.
If you trust, right? Like if
well,
we really, really trust.
Yeah.
it's a big trust walk, is because we've learned
Mhm.
as slaves and we've learned as being traumatized children, nothing comes easy. You have to work. And, and
Mhm.
I know I have a lot of people say, this won't work for me because it's too easy. And it's like, okay, come back when you're really beaten up.
Well, so here's the thing though, I think I differ a little bit too much in the napping area because I do feel like when a dream is dreaming you, there's this fire that begins to brew where you just have to take action. You're like, I can't wait to take action. This will be fun and exciting. So I think that's it's sort of listen to your body. Sometimes it requires that and sometimes it doesn't,
I
but it's,
love,
yeah,
yeah, I love that you brought that up. Don't ever take action unless it's inspired.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. There's a,
Taking action is probably, well, I should do that. Well, if you have children, you need to take care of them, but just get inspired before you go do it. Here's what I want. I'm going to go pick up the kids. I don't even know.
try, try that. Try to get
But no, I'm
inspired.
No,
so,
that's cute though.
yeah.
Yeah. My kids are adults now. My youngest is 18. So I'm now going into this phase where they can just take care of themselves. And it doesn't keep me from worrying about them, which I guess I can put that in the light next. Start dumping some worry out into the light.
Right?
Right.
Yeah, send that out and it will help,
Mhm.
and it will help actually heal them too. They're good, we all know that we all have to make our um, you know, um a dark side, what is it? Dark side of the soul walk or fire walk or whatever it's called. I
Mhm.
heard
Mhm.
somebody say something so freaking funny. I have to repeat it. She said, "Oh yeah, my walk on the dark side of my soul took so long I bought rental property."
Mhm.
I know.
Yeah.
That's
But
cute.
we all need to go collect our data. We all need to go figure out what needs healing. We all need to do all that. And our kids are going to do it. And when they do that, just, just keep sending the stuff to the light. They're going to be fine, just like you were. Just like
Mhm.
all those that came ahead of you were. We are all just being guided into our highest and best destiny. And let's quit resisting.
Yeah. No, I
Mhm.
think that's all that needs to be said here, right? Stop resisting, stop controlling,
Stop
allow,
trying to work hard.
Mm.
yeah,
You don't have
be
to try
willing.
harder. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah, it just get out into nature for 10 minutes and just like, okay, you guys show me. You guys show me. I want
Mhm.
proof.
I want
Because
proof.
I feel very vulnerable. I mean, I
Uh-huh.
really feel
Yeah.
like I'm doing the most wrong thing imaginable.
Mm.
Hmm.
But my guides taught me years ago when I was really struggling. They said, so you've got this set thing on how you think you're going to fix it. And they said, we just want you for once, do what you think is going to be the fastest way you can fail.
Hmm.
And just go ahead and try it. You're already failing. You got nothing to lose. So go ahead. Don't do what you think will fix it. Do what you believe will ruin you. And
Right.
every time I did it, everything worked out beautifully.
Mhm.
And
Love it.
that trust walk is tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so many of it, we're all just challenged, you know. I we're all
Yeah.
very challenged, but no need to make it feel that
And
way.
we keep practicing and we keep getting better. So,
Mhm.
Yes, yippee, something to
mhm.
heal.
Yeah.
Yippee,
Yeah, I like
Yippee.
that. Yippee, something to heal.
Yep.
yippee,
Send it back.
something new to heal. What is
Hmm.
it? I don't care. Yippee, off you go.
You go.
Well, you guys, I did put the offer in the chat, and you can check it out if you want to pursue deeper with Karen and get a session with Karen or what have you, because she's phenomenal. If
Yeah,
you haven't
for
noticed,
sure.
we pick you.
Yeah. Thank you for having us too.
Yeah.
Karen, do you have any parting words or lasting things that, I mean, there's always something to share, but anything you'd like to share with the group today? You can
Nor,
kind of leave with us.
I think we've.
You know, just, and this is going to sound really trite, but my guides really don't mean it trite. Just have more fun with it
Mm.
and look at the blessing of everything that's happening. And even if you have to make it up just to get to the next second in the day, make it up. And your only responsibility is you cannot jump from bliss, excuse me, from from hopelessness to bliss. And all you're doing is just raising your frequency one little piece at a time, one
Mm.
little piece at a time. And that can be done by, okay, team, I just want to feel just a little bit better. And you'll feel it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's nice. How about just, I want to feel just a little bit better. How about just a little bit better? And that's all, just keep removing it out. When you are moving the energy back to the light, when you are moving it out of yourself, it's just, I want to feel a little bit better. I want to feel a little bit better. And that will help you step up to a point where you can say, okay, got it. I got this now.
Yep. Yeah. And it's practice. I mean, just like
It's an
being,
attitude, no practice.
it's
Yes.
just like being present is a practice. Being engaged in life is a practice. You've got to train your body and your brain and all of you
So it's an attitude.
so
like,
that, yeah, it's like, so that this is your state.
Mhm.
And I just think it's really important for us to remember these practices and practice them.
Right. It's just like working out. It's an attitude, no muscle.
Yeah.
All right.
And
Love it.
I actually
so
look
much.
at them as like, just get in the habit. Get in the habit
Mhm.
of feeling happy. Get in the habit of, expecting the best. Get in the habit of
Mm.
expecting miracles to drop in every
Yes.
day. Just get in the
Absolutely.
habit of that. It's like, what are you going to surprise and delight me with today?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you what sounds good for me.
Uh-huh.
And
Absolutely.
just it, but they, my guides just want you to all have just so much more fun with it. Your dreams are right there. This, I promise you, everything that you've wanted is right there trying to come in. And your only job right now is getting rid of just cleaning out your garage.
Mm-hmm.
And this garage can't be doing it by hiring somebody. Oh, you could do it yourself.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. I love your show. I love your audience. And I always feel like the luckiest person when you get in touch and invite me back. So thank you.
Yay! Well, we'll definitely have you back again. So thank you so much, Karin, for
Yeah.
being with us. And thank you all for staying on with us and hearing us amazing
Yeah.
message all the way out.
And you guys, when I do have the survey, please, if you've really had a profound shift, just let us know who they were from our series too, right? Because and just like the feedback. But Karin's coming back no matter what.
No matter what, we know.
We love her.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. If you check your emails, and we'll have the Karin special offer link underneath her replay if you do want to watch again. Same with everybody else within the show.
Yeah. And if you are looking on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, you will also see that in the description below.
Yep.
And you can make a little comment there too, because that goes for
Please do.
that goes for the contest.
Yes,
So-
and that now goes to the contest. So
That's right. Everybody is
that's
the
what
winner.
we got to do. Bribe
Everybody's a
you,
winner.
we will. It now says that the link when you click on it is 197. It's not working. If you could,
It
she
should
was
be.
kind of working on it for a second here in the back end, but we will check things and
Yeah,
fix it
we'll get
within
it.
the next 15 or 20 minutes. Thank you. And thank you, Karin. Oh my goodness, this is such a fun
Thank you.
call.
Yes, and thank you,
all juicy.
everybody, for choosing to spend your time with all of us today. I know you have many, many options, and I feel honored that you chose to spend it with us.
Thank you, Karin.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, you guys. So tomorrow it's Lianka and I talking about the alchemy of vision. If you don't know me, in both of our approaches is actually kind of a little bit based on some real brain science and other things like that. We will keep it light tomorrow though, and there will be a really juicy awesomeness meditation, which is this cool frequency that came through me at one point about 6 or 7 years ago. And so we're going to end this whole series with this juicy 5D awesomeness meditation. And before that, we're going to talk a little bit about your brain and how it works, especially when it comes to vision and creating the future and the life that you want to lead.
It'll be fun. Join us.
Yes.
Be
So
sure-
same time, same place tomorrow.
It's gonna be fun.
Won't go as long. It'll probably be about an hour and a half would be my guess. So we'll meet right at 9 and
Jump to party
and jump into it. We might not even really just yap for 15 minutes, but you never know with us. All right. And then just a reminder, next week we are on a regular schedule, and it's Tuesday and Thursday every single week.
9 a.m. Pacific.
Yep.
See you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.